Okay, so now we have here the example number 3 for free falling bodies. So a ball that is thrown vertically upward in the moon returns to its starting point in 4.0 seconds. So the acceleration due to gravity there is 1.6 meter per second square downward. Find the ball's original speed. So, i-draw natin siya. Draw muna natin. So, let's say this is our ground. Assume na lang natin na ground. And then, ito yung parang highest path na naabot ng ating bola nung ibinato natin siya pataas. So, let's say, ito yung bola, ibabato natin pataas. So, upward motion. And then, na-reach niya yan, babalik siya dito sa baba. So, ayan. Pinato mula dito sa baba, pataas, and then babalik siya pababa. Okay? And then, ang time na nagugol niya ay equivalent to 4.0 seconds. Yan. So, balikan na yan. Mula dito, taas, and pagbalik sa baba ulit ay 4 seconds. Okay? So, writing our given value, so downward, we have the gravitational acceleration in moon, which is equivalent to 1.60 meter per second square, and our y is 0. So, for the whole process na, ang y natin ay 0. Bakit naging 0? Kasi, mula dito sa baba, pataas, then bumalik sa baba. So, ano ang na-travel niya? Wala, di ba? So, bumalik siya sa 0. Buti sana kung sinabi ng problem natin ay mula dito sa baba, tapos pataas lang. Hindi na siya bumalik. So, ano lang. Pero, so, ibig sabihin, pag may distance tayo, pero bumalik siya. So, therefore, 0 ang point natin. Diba? So, next, upward natin. Pag sinabi natin upward, ang GM natin ay negative 1.6 meter per second. Okay? So, our solution, our formula, y is equivalent to V1P plus 1 half GD squared. So, find the original speed. So, andito yung original speed natin na V1. Okay? Tapos ito, solution natin, 0 na yan. And then, our value for t is 4.4 seconds. So, V1, so 4 na lang yan. 4.0 seconds plus 1 half G natin, downward, so negative yan, negative 1.60 meter per second square. And then, time natin, 4.0 seconds square. Okay? So, 0, so rewrite na 0 is equivalent to 4.0 seconds V1 minus, so ito, masolve ko dyan ay 12.8 meters. Okay? So 4.0 seconds V1 is equivalent to 12.8 meters. So, paano nangyari yan? Transpose ko lang ito. 12.8. Kaya naging positive. Tapos, divide both sides by 4.0 seconds. 4.0 seconds. So, cancel. V1 will be equivalent to 3.2 meters per second, wherein this value V1 will be our final answer. Okay? So, yan na yung original speed ng ating bola sa buwan na indicate dito sa ating problem number 3. Okay? Now, let's proceed to our example number 4, wherein this will be our last example. Okay? So, a stone is thrown vertically upward at 30 meters per second. So, solve for A, the maximum height reached. B, time to reach the highest point. C, location at the stone when it reached a time of 1.5 seconds. And D, velocity when it is 25 meter above the initial position. Okay, so let's draw. So uh, we have here the ground. Tapos ito yung stone natin. Stone. Okay, yan yung stone natin. And pataas yung motion niya. And let's say this is the highest point that can be reached. So, ano yung displacement niya? Diba? And we have the value here, V1, initial velocity. So, andito siya sa ground, which is equivalent to 30 meters per second. And let's say na ang ating velocity final or 2 is equivalent to 0 kasi andito sa highest point, di ba? So, upward, ang ating gravitational acceleration will be negative 9.81 meters per second square. And if it is downward, G is equivalent to 9.81 meters per second square. Okay? So, letter A, the maximum height reached. So, yung Y, hanapin natin. So, Y is the unknown. So, our formula will be Y is equivalent to V2 squared minus V1 squared divided by 2G. And let's denote that V2 is equivalent to 0. So, cancel out na yan. So, simplifying our formula, Y is equivalent to negative V1 squared over 2G. And substitute the value. So, negative 30 meters per second square divided by 2, negative 9.81 meters per second square. So, pag sinimplify na natin yan, Y will be equivalent to negative 900 meters square second square divided by negative 19.62 meter per second square. So, cancel out second square, meter, and then ito. So, our final answer, Y will be equivalent to 45.87 meters. And this is our final answer for letter A. Next, let's proceed to letter B, wherein we're going to find time to reach the highest point. Okay, so ilang oras daw bago niya ma-reach yung highest point na ito, wherein ang highest point natin is 45.87. So, yung susunod na yan, so T is equivalent to question mark to reach highest point. Okay, so we're going to use G is equivalent to V2 minus V1 over T. Okay, assuming that our V2 is 0, cross multiply, so sinisimplify ko ulit, manipulate lang yung formula. So we have GT is equivalent to negative V1. Okay, so divide both sides by G. So we're going to use T is equivalent to negative V1 over G. And substituting the values, we have negative 30 meters per second divided by negative 9.81 meters per second square. So our T is equivalent to, so cancel. We now have 3.06 seconds. Ayan. So, in 3.06 seconds, maaabot na niya yung highest point na equivalent to 45.87 meters. Next, letter C. So, in letter C, we're going to find the location of the stone when it reached a time of 1.5 seconds. So, after 1.5 seconds, asan na ba yung ating stone? So, anong distance na siya? Anong value ng y? So, this will be the solution. We're going to use the formula y is equivalent to v1t plus 1 over 2 gt squared, wherein t is equivalent to 1.5 seconds. Ayan. So, may v1 na tayo, 30 meters per second. Yun yung given natin na 1.5 second plus 1 half and then negative 9.81 meters per second square times 1.5 seconds square. So we will have 45 meters. So to cancel minus 11.04 meters. So ito, second square, makakancel to. Itong seconds. Ito makakancel. Kaya meters na lang. So ang value na ng y natin ay 33.96 meters. Yan. So after 1.5 seconds, nasa 33.96 meters na ang height na naabot ng stone natin. Next, letter D. So, sa letter D, ang hinahanap natin ay yung velocity when it is 25 meter above the initial position. So initial position in 25 meters, ano yung velocity niya? Diba? So, ito naman yung formula. Solution. So, let's assume that this is our ground. Nandito yung stone and upward motion. And our highest point is in, assuming that y is equivalent to 25 meters. V1, still 30 meters per second. V2, still, yan ang hinahanap natin. Okay, so, yung velocity niya nung nasa 25 meters siya. Okay, so stone, yan. So we're going to use G is equivalent to V2 squared, V1 squared over 2G. And manipulate lang natin itong formula kasi ang hanapin natin ay si V2. Diba? So we have hindi pala ako pa ito. Y. So 2gy is equivalent to V2 squared minus V1 squared. Okay? And then, magiging 2gy plus V1 squared is equivalent to V squared. So, rewrite lang natin. So, it will become V2 squared is equivalent to square root of V1 squared plus 2gy. Yan. So, substitute our values. V2 is equivalent to square root of our V1, 30 meters per second squared, plus our 2 times negative 9.81 meters per second square times 25 meters. Ayan. So, ang V2 natin ay equivalent to 20.24 meters per second. This is the velocity of the stone nasa 25 meters distance. Ayan, so nasolve na natin ating 4 example problems for free falling bodies. So thank you for watching.